Coming up right now, Greek life at one college is making history.
Also coming up, a dad finds himself in the middle of a nightmare after traveling with his teenage daughter.
A little bit later on, 2 music icons are spotted at one show, and it's the embrace heard around the world.
Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English, welcoming you to our show. It's called Daily Flash. So glad to have you. Yeah. Indeed it is. Matt Doolittle standing by. Got a day ready for him. How are you there, buddy?
I'm doing good. So we got a new cat.
Another one, huh?
I didn't really know we were getting it till I came home. There's another cat.
That's how we ladies do it.
Yeah.
Just sort of like act now, apologize later.
So it makes this little grumble noise when it meows and talks, like this little. So now I've done this trick when it starts doing that. I just walk up behind it and go.
And
we call her Grumble Puss.
That's the name?
Yeah. Well, her name's Charlotte Flair, wrestler. But we call her Grumble Puss.
Okay, Grumble Puss.
Okay.
Which is your new nickname.
And we should just mention that it's a loving push from behind.
Yeah. No, it's just a little.
Goodness gracious. Okay. There is one common work habit that is aging all of us faster than anything.
So something that we do at work, I would imagine, me, pencils, using pencils?
No. Matt, any...
Actually going?
Well,
that could be something.
Yes, that's a start.
Aging.
Sitting down. Sitting down ages us faster than anything.
Oh, I see.
Our bodies are meant to be moving. And if you sit more than 10 hours a day, which is possible with the amount of television and computer stuff we all consume, it is contributing to the record high diabetes in this country, the obesity.
It's diabetes. It's okay, don't worry about it. Everybody mispronounces
diabetes. University of San Diego, UC San Diego, did the study, and they found out that if you are sitting more than 6 hours a day at your job, it is going to affect your circulation. Which leads to all sorts of other health issues.
This is so weird you're bringing this up, and I'm not joking, because I literally had this discussion last night. I'm working on a big project, a big video project, so I've been sitting down, and I have lost, but my foot is swollen. My right leg is just swollen up, and I tell Liza, I go, hey, I don't know what's going on, and she goes, it could be anything, whatever. But it's how I sit, number one, and I've been sitting all day, so it's so weird you're bringing this up, because I'm going through that right now. I need to get up and start moving my butt.
Okay, and then they say that there are a few ways you can sort of combat this, be more active. I mean, that's, 150 minutes of exercise a day, if you can just do that. It's a lot for a lot of people, but that's the deal.
2 hours.
That's 2 hours.
Over 2 hours.
Make time to move. You got to make time to move. Get out, do a walk, do something. Consider a standing desk. I've wanted one of those. The standing desk.
You think you do?
Yeah.
Because I have my studio. I don't think you've seen my studio at home. It's supposed to be a standing studio,
think you do.
but I'm sitting in it all the time. And I had to buy a chair that brought it up even higher, because I was like, no, I won't. I'm going to stand and use all. You get tired of it after a while.
And fidget. They say fidgeting is actually a good thing. So if you're sitting on the couch watching television,
it's that ADHD kicking in with me.
Fidget.
I just sit there and my knee just twitches all day. So
You've got instant fidget.
It's natural.
Built-in fidget.
I had to put my foot up higher than my heart the other day just to get the blood out of it. I mean, I'm telling you, it's swollen up. I don't know what it is. The only thing different I did was just sitting down for the past 3 days.
Okay, that's it.
All right, let's talk about some inspiration, get you inspired. A very inspirational story. Charlie McGee, he wanted a true college experience, and he wasn't going to let his Down syndrome get in the way. The Clemson University junior accepted his bid to Phi Kappa Alpha and signed up for the Greek life. McGee actually came to the South Carolina school as part of the Clemson Life program. It teaches students with intellectual disabilities the skill that they need to live independently. Now, this year marked the first time that Clemson Life students were allowed to actually rush a fraternity, with 6 committing to Greek life this semester. The frat has named Charlie their newest MVP, most valuable pledge.
That's terrific.
So I love seeing stories like this, that sort of thing. And, what we can learn is in college, we think that we have academics that we have to pick up, but really what it comes down to is the life. You know, you're learning so much. This is the first time that you're out, and to have somebody around there that might be a little bit different, that you can really teach you a lot.
Absolutely, exposes you to different people, different takes on life. And I always think, like, I remember being in college, and I got to a point where I'm like, I just don't want to do this anymore. And I remember my dad saying to me, he goes, "It's not about what you're doing in your class. It's showing that you can get through something, commit to something, get through it, finish, and graduate." I was like, all right.
I hear that it happens a lot with students, but I didn't have my first lesbian experience in college at all, which was really weird. I was really looking forward to it. 2, 3, 4. Get me out of there.
Yes,
it was a community college.
It was. Yes. I was homeschooled, too, which made it even weird. HR is calling me. Cheryl in HR.
You were a commuter student. That's probably why. Yes, you are now. Well, a Virginia father was caught off guard when a Southwest Airlines crew accused him of human trafficking.
What?
This is a crazy story. John Kerrigan was boarding a connecting flight alongside his 15-year-old daughter and her 16-year-old friend. A flight attendant approached the two teens and questioned them about their relationship with Kerrigan, who had left his seat to go use the plane's restroom. The flight crew contacted Norfolk International Airport and reported Kerrigan as a suspected human trafficker. Southwest employees are trained to detect warning signs and contact investigators with their concerns. Once they landed, authorities questioned Kerrigan for 20 minutes before letting him go. Innocent of all charges, innocent of all suspects. Suspicions.
I know a lot of people might get upset on this, but I'm glad that they do something like this, because what if it was? If it's something what do we always say? See something, say something. And if at least they did that, sure, it's 20 minutes, but there are some simple things that you could do that could expedite it. And this happened with my bonus son, my stepson, where we were flying back from Dallas together, he and I. And right before we went to the security, they made me kind of take a step a little bit to the side.
Really?
Just not too far away, just a step away. And they asked, he goes, "Who is this?" And they go, "It's my stepdad." And they go, "Where are you going?" I go, "We're going to Orlando." "Why are you going?" And that's what, because is he your dad? Are you wanting to go? And I had no issue with it at all. It was the first time I've ever had experienced something like that.
Sure.
But at least they stopped and that sort of thing. Now, granted, I know that people say, well, you can, if you're in danger, that would be difficult to do that sort of thing. But that is, at least if you're talking to a TSA, somebody of authority, that could be an opportunity for them to get out.
But here's my question. Let's say you and the stepson are not getting along and he's pissed at you, right? And they go through the TSA line and he says to him, "Are you okay to be with this guy?" And he's like, "No, I could see this.
I'm waiting for that day, actually.
I could see this completely turn around on a bad day."
As a joke, he would do that.
Yes.
When we were walking up to the thing, he and I joke all the time about this, and I go, "All right, when we're going to go through there, I don't know what's going to happen here." And he goes, "I'm just going to tell him that you're taking me," and I go, "You better not do that."
Oh my God.
He's a good kid, but he did not do that.
But he's got a quirky sense of humor, so I could see.
It's Mitch Jr., which is really weird because he's
that happens with mixed race couples a lot.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I have a friend who's black and her husband's white. Their daughter looks nothing like him. She looks very much like a black girl. So whenever he takes her out, he gets questioned all the time about, "Is this your daughter?"
Wow.
Is it? Cops will ask him. People will ask him. He gets questioned all the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I had to actually, just doing a lot of travel for work and everything, I go, "Yes, officer, he does work with me." So I actually have that all planned out.
That's good.
Because Matt will beat me back in the hotel if I don't.
They don't ask you if he's your son?
No. I'm waiting for that day, though. I'm waiting for that.
Is he your lover?
The fact that he's, a foot taller than me, I think is a dead giveaway. All righty, Adele, we love her. She's feeling the love from a fellow music icon and got to do a lot of feeling at her latest concert. 36-year-old singer actually got emotional after seeing Celine Dion in the audience at her Las Vegas show. Now, Adele was singing one of her songs when she approached Dion. When the 56-year-old was seated in a box at Caesars Coliseum, Adele became very tearful, as you can see, as the pair embraced for several seconds. Dion then held and kissed Adele's hand as the British singers waved to fans nearby before continuing on her performance. I think we forget sometimes that we all have idols, even those that work through, that have made it. And there are people, they say sometimes you should never meet your heroes, but here's an opportunity for her to do it, doing what she does as well. So that's kind of neat. I love both of them.
Our EP Hugo had recommended the Celine documentary, and it's on Prime Video. So I watched it one afternoon. It was astounding.
What's the skinny on that?
Get your things. Get your things.
HR?
They put him in timeout.
Listen, all right. It's frozen in time.
Yes, it's Why did I
can't dig
why? Yeah, why did I?
This is why Jackson is at the airport saying, I don't know this
I need
guy.
an adult.
Help me. Help me.
Please help, I don't know.
I'm not here. I interrupted you. It's a good documentary.
No, it's a great documentary. And you can see why Adele would be so moved to actually meet her. And what Celine's gone through is incredible.
Indeed. And I preface that saying I like Celine, so it got me off the hook, right?
Yes.
We got more Today's Trends, Tomorrow's Talk right here. However, I'm not sure if I'll be here.
You will. Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson, along with Mitch English and Matt Doolittle. In today's roundtable, we are talking about Grammy Award-winning star Tyler, the Creator, and his mother, and what she revealed to her son. Take a listen.
It was my fault, not yours, not his. It was my fault. I'm sorry. It was my fault, not him, because he always wanted to be there for you. And I'm sorry I was young, but he's always wanted to be a father to you. So I fucked up, and I take ownership of that, of my choices and decisions. And I'm sorry for that. He's a good guy. So don't hold that against him, because it was my fault. Just, forgive me.
She is referring to his absent relationship with his father, and this is coming out as his new album Chromacopia debuts. But this reveals a much larger issue of parental alienation. Now, we're going to talk about this with our expert, Dr. Janie Lacey. She is joining us this morning to lend her expertise on this. But first, I'll start with Mitch and Matt. Matt, what do you think of this?
I mean, I think if she was trying to protect him, but if the guy was trying to be a good father and she just denied it, maybe she just had such hard feelings towards him that she didn't think about what it's doing to the kid. Yeah. I think that's kind of what her mentality was.
Yeah.
Well, I think too, he says, Tyler says, listen, my dad was not here, was not ever, and listen, divorce is never easy, no matter what. Somebody is going to miss out on it, but that's also the life that you were raised in.
Right.
So when you say that's your normal, more or less, so it's interesting to see.
Well, oftentimes too, when it comes to divorce, either, sometimes parents take sides and they also want to involve the kids in taking those sides. So sometimes it takes a while to kind of dig through all of that. Dr. Janie Lacey, we want to know what you think about this parental alienation.
This is a very interesting conversation because in particular, when we're looking at this situation, it's often what we don't talk about, and that's the psychological impact on our children when mothers in particular intentionally block fathers that want to be involved post-separation or post-divorce. Many times we'll hear about the deadbeat father or he's not there. But there's a very sensitive issue that I think this is really bringing up for us. And this is when mothers are the ones that are blocking or preventing the involvement of the father. And it can have many different impacts on children.
You look at these statistics, we've got this number for you. I want to get your reaction. At least 3.9 million children in the United States are moderately or severely alienated from a parent.
When I hear those statistics, I think about what we see as far as family therapy, especially for children. When they grow up, we see the effects of these types of situations, right? We're seeing identity development issues, especially when there is a father that, in this case, where he thinks that his father doesn't want to be involved with him, then there's this internalization of rejection that can happen that becomes part of themselves. And then they struggle to understand that part of their identity of half of their story is missing. So if their mother is the primary one involved, then they're relying on her truth, her emotional regulation, her experiences, and they're missing another part of it, which then we see later on can affect a young person's self-esteem well into their adulthood when these types of dynamics are part of play. And we see also another development of unworthiness that happens because of that rejection wound or perceived rejection wound, I should say.
It seems like, okay, so you have a marriage, you're handing your marriage over to the court because you want a divorce and you want the court systems to figure it out for you. Really, that's what it comes down to sometimes when you don't have mediation and that sort of thing. And with that comes with some child support and that sort of thing. And it seems like, I'm not going to pick which mom or dad, but if child support is not being given, it seems like the custodial parent actually is sometimes, we have seen, will say, well, you don't pay child support, so you don't have to see the kid. What does that do for the children? Should it should be bypassed and just let the law, because again, you handed how you're going to handle this force over to the court system. Is that the proper way? And maybe explain a little bit, but the best way to handle that sort of situation.
Well, the example that you're giving, Mitch, is very dangerous because what she's doing is she's punishing, we'll just say her for the sake of the example.
Yes.
She's punishing the child. So if the father, for example, is not paying child support or for whatever reason, the funds not coming through him, that's not necessarily for her. That's for the child. Okay. So for her to say you're not paying the money to help me with the child, then you're not going to see him. That's only hurting the child. But most women will do that because they think they're punishing their ex-partner. If you don't want to be involved, you weren't a great partner to me, so I'm going to punish you.
I see.
And that's very, very dangerous because what we'll see when they grow up, Mitch, is attachment issues, what we call attachment, right? So the sudden absence of a father figure, it's going to disrupt the healthy attachment development. And children learn to trust close relationships by what they see in our family system. So they can fear abandonment, especially we'll see that in men. Sometimes if the mother was overbearing, then if they're with a woman or a wife when they're older and she feels a little controlling or overbearing, right? These same dynamics can be at play because of those unhealed wounds. And that creates this anxious attachment pattern that's well into future relationships. And we know that they can struggle with all types of things like intimacy and commitment. So when mothers do that, or when a parent does that to punish the other parent, only person that's deeply going to hurt and wound for many years to come is that child. So it's not the way to handle it. It should be taken through the court system and it should be done the proper way. And the child should still have access to both parents.
Makes a lot of sense that way. Indeed.
We always kind of refer to this saying as there's always three sides to the story, your side, my side, and the truth. And somewhere in all of that lies what's really happening. And oftentimes I think when you subject children to really adult situations like divorce, they're going to find out things are filtered through different perspectives from a mom and from a dad, and that causes a lot of division as well.
Janie, you always have great insight. We appreciate it. We'd love to hear what our viewers have to say about this. We want you to sound off. You can go and leave a comment on our Instagram, and if it's good, we'll actually talk about it here on the show. Mm-hmm. Or you can also drop us an email. Head to dailyflashshow.com. There you'll find the sound off button. Press it. It comes right to us. We got more Flash coming up right around the corner. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. You go anywhere, you miss out. So you don't want to do that. Stick around.
Hey guys, welcome back to Daily Flash. I am Matt Doolittle with your weekly edition of Furry Friends. And we are in that holiday prep season, so it's time to make sure your furry little buddies are ready to go for the holiday season because it's important to take care of them while you take care of the gifts and that crazy uncle who gets drunk 5 minutes into walking into your house. All right, well, our first tip today is keep your pets away from the decorations. We love those videos of cats destroying trees, but if you don't want them to end up like Aunt Edna's cat from Christmas Vacation, watch out for all those wires, decorations, or anything that can hang loose. That is super important. And you may not notice it, but they get a little wily out there. So be careful with those. Also, make sure to keep your pets away from any plants. Holly, mistletoe, lilies, poinsettia, and amaryllis are poisonous to pets. Pine needles can also be very toxic. So if you're having a natural tree at home, make sure you vacuum. And even if you have a plastic one, make sure you pick that up because they don't know the difference and they may try to eat it. Now, this is important. Watch them around the food because if you got a little, begging puppy, they're going to get some food from the uncle and everybody like that. So make sure you're careful with that. Chocolates, sweets, baked goods, they can all be horrible for your pets. And don't let your guests feed them table scraps. Make that point right off the bat when they come in. Do not give Fluffy any of that turkey. Now, you got to inform your guests also that if they're coming over that you have a pet. They may have allergies or weakened immune systems. Also, they may have a phobia of certain animals, so you don't want them to freak out when your St. Bernard runs up to them and licks their face. You also need to provide a getaway place. This is very important. There's a lot of lights, sounds, people coming in and out. They may need a back room, bedroom, bathroom, garage, or somewhere to go. So make sure they have food, water, a blanket they can be comfortable in, or they may just get exhausted from your nephew trying to pull their tails all night. Now, I talked about the cats, but make sure you anchor your trees. Cats and dogs are notorious for knocking over trees, and you don't want your guests or the animals to get hurt. And make sure you get them checked before you go on any of those long trips to grandma's house. Make a vet appointment. This is for any of those trips you're going on. You don't want to get an Aspen and make sure and Fluffy decides to now have a problem and your vet is nowhere near possible. And trust me, that can get expensive if you have to go to a new vet. So those are your tips on that one. Guys, what do you think?
Well, I think number one is that it's a part of your family, a pet is, so you got to make sure you're doing the things that they need to stay safe as well.
Absolutely, and especially when it comes to the prescriptions and the medications, if you're traveling anywhere with your pet, that's a really good point.
Now, here's a cat you may not think to get checked before the holidays. The folks of Chicago need to be careful because if you're running into any of these roaming the streets, it may not be that too nice to you. A wild caracal cat native to Africa and Asia was just hanging out like it's on a Midwest vacation. The exotic feline with those signature pointy ears was spotted roaming around, but it was finally captured under someone's deck about 30 miles northwest of the city. Now, caracals are a protected and endangered species, so seeing one here is like spotting a unicorn at your local coffee shop. Authorities aren't exactly sure where it came from, and something tells me it didn't have a microchip in it, so I don't think they're going to be able to get it back to its owner.
Yes.
That thing is terrifying.
It is, just looking at it, how crazy. And these things are just all muscle, too.
Yeah.
And they're predators, obviously, like big cats.
It looked like a panther with horns, just from looking at the picture.
That's what I thought it was, too.
Yeah.
Somebody first spotted it on a golf course, and they're like, I don't think that's supposed to be here.
Interesting stuff. All right, our pets are safe. Thank you there, Matt. As we move on to some other trending stories, if you thought scaling a regular ladder was kind of frightening, wait until you see this. Look at your TV. Check out this monster ladder in China. It reaches 5,000 feet. The death-defying marvel overlooks two different cliffs, and it actually looks like something that's out of an action movie, right? The staircase in the sky. It's surrounded by sheer drops on all sides. And get this, if you want to climb this, it's going to cost you $100 per person, and you must be at least 4 feet tall to climb the ladder. Not sure why they put that height restriction on it, but maybe because of the rungs on each ladder. I'm not sure I could do it. No, I know I can't.
No, there's no way. I'm having even trouble just looking at it.
Feels weird, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a ladder that looks like it wraps around the mountain and goes, like you said, 5,000 feet.
That's too much like exercise. Why would I want to do that? Right?
I'll just watch you do it.
Yeah,
You're
okay,
fine.
there you go.
A Canadian speed eater added another world record to his name by eating 2 pounds and 7 ounces of hot sauce in just 3 minutes.
Oh my God.
Mike Jack, who holds a number of Guinness titles for speed eating and drinking, broke the record for the most hot sauce eaten in 3 minutes. Jack used a spoon to eat 2 pounds and 7 ounces of sriracha hot
2 pounds?
sauce. 2 pounds. Jack says that a lot of people ask if he experienced butt burn after the challenge. Jack admits he's never experienced it and calls it a genetic mutation, kind of like his own superpower.
Oh, yeah, I would hope so. And I want to thank our producers here. Usually when they do these kind of challenges, or we talk about it, then we do it to see if we can do it. And no, I wouldn't even try to do that because I would have the butt burn. And that's how you do it right there. It's pretty much me eating cereal in the morning. That's what it looks like.
You?
Yeah, that's me eating cereal. I can do that with cereal. All right, we got today's trends, tomorrow's talk. We got more Daily Flash coming. You want to have more fun?
Yes, and we've got a must-watch movie coming up we're going to share with you. So do not go anywhere. You miss a minute on this show, you miss a lot.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I am Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash, your source for trending news and entertainment.
All righty. I'm not sure if you heard about this, but Russia went to court and sued YouTube. Did you hear about this?
No.
17 news organizations from Russia were banned on YouTube, right? So Russia says, Vladimir Putin says, no, we're going to take them and we're going to sue them. And they had gave them a fine. You ready for how much? It is 20, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 34 zeros after it. It is $2.5 decillion that they sued YouTube for. Apparently, here's the thing, that's a number. But it sounds like, you remember when you were a kid, you just, I don't know, that's a million trillion killion. Times affinity. Decillion is actually an actual number.
Who's the first decillionaire?
Well, apparently somebody is going to be. Russia is going to be. I'm not sure if they'll get any of their money.
No, they'll just throw them out a window.
You think that's what they'll do?
They'll just throw YouTube out a window. That's what they do over there.
So
President Putin? Yes.
Putin is on the line already.
Yes, he is. Okay, yes. His name is Matt Doolittle.
No.
I can't save you from this one, bud.
No.
Comrade in arms. There you go. Anyway, and I think it was, they're never going to get money from it. We know that. But I think it was just enough to say, well, we'll get what you can out of the deal.
I think it does become troubling when you look at how powerful a lot of these companies like Google and YouTube, and you understand how much control they have over the content that you're able to see that is available to you and what they promote on their homepage.
And let's put Facebook in that as well.
Yes.
Especially if everybody says Facebook's for the older generation, that sort of thing, which is whatever.
Yeah.
But they know what you can see.
Right.
And those are the ones that actually have the money, if you think about it, as they get older.
Don't leave out Apple. You guys
Apple.
Yes.
have Apple.
There's nothing wrong with Apple. We love it.
Shame.
I can't wait to buy another power cord next week.
Hey, I saw the commercial for the new Motorola Razr phone.
I've heard about this.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
It was the first time I'd seen it. It's the new Motorola Zip phone or Razr flip phone. Sorry.
Now you guys know I'm a big tech guy, but Jackson had the Razr before I did. I remember when you had the Razr when that came out, and she had the iPhone before I did as well. And the iPhone was like that big and everything. I remember that.
Yeah.
So, all right. I don't think they'll get the $1 zillion, but
you
any
never
kind of
know.
cash they can. Who knows?
Let's start with let's continue our chit chat here with an inspirational story. Charlie McGee wanted a true college experience, and he wasn't going to let living with Down syndrome get in his way. The Clemson University junior accepted his bid to Phi Kappa Alpha and signed up for the Greek life. McGee came to the South Carolina school as part of the Clemson Life program, which teaches students with intellectual disabilities the skills they need to live independently. This year marked the first time that Clemson Life students were allowed to rush a fraternity, with 6 committing to Greek life this semester. The frat has named Charlie their newest MVP Most Valuable Pledge.
I love that. It's so much we can learn in college outside of what we learn academically, and I love seeing that they embracing him as well and teaching him, giving him a life lesson, that sort of thing. You can offer plenty. We go down to Virginia, where a father caught off guard when a Southwest Airlines crew accused him of human trafficking. His name is John Kerrigan. He was boarding a connecting flight alongside his 15-year-old daughter and her 16-year-old friend. So you got a guy with two teenage girls, all right, setting up the stage. A flight attendant went up to the 2 teens, started questioning them about the relationship with Kerrigan, who had left his seat to use the plane's restroom. The flight crew then contacted Norfolk International Airport and reported Kerrigan as a suspected human trafficker. Southwest employees are trained to detect warning signs and contact investigators with their concerns. That's all between the times they make the jokes over the PA system, by the way. And once they landed, the authorities questioned Kerrigan, did it for about 20 minutes, let him go. And the precautions are out there. It seems like maybe the teenage girls could have what are you talking about? I don't know. Yeah, that's my dad. And maybe they went up to the friend first.
It's possible.
I don't know what happened.
But here's Southwest flight attendants going up to the teenage girl. You play the Southwest flight attendant.
Yes. Hi, can I see what you do? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am?
Don't touch me. Oh my God.
Ma'am?
Oh my God, look at this sword. Approaching me.
Passenger shaming. I'm going to put this on there.
I'm grabbing.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. Chelsea Smith, CEO and founder of Chelsea Smith Crowns, has become a prominent leader in the wig industry and has spent her career working tirelessly to promote her mission of creating a community of positivity as well as confidence by normalizing wig wearing. She's actually changing the narrative of beauty standards and making wigs accessible to everyone, all while sharing her very own story. Welcome, Chelsea.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
And you're joined here by Kelly as well, who we're going to hear your story in just a second. One thing I found interesting as I was learning more and more is that these are not wigs, they're crowns. Why do you call them crowns?
To me, they are just an elevated accessory. So for me, I love to put on my lashes and my nails. And for my hair, I like just to pop on my hair. So now I call it a hair crown because I literally just pop it on my head and I'm ready to go.
And I would imagine it also brings A, confidence, B, saves a lot of time. As a husband, I can appreciate somebody hey, let's go. Wigs are always there. But that's not the only reason why that you kind of got into this. Tell us a little bit about your story.
So initially, I just wanted to be everybody's hairstylist, get in my chair, never tell them no if they just box dyed their hair and they want to be a blonde. So I just created these crowns so everybody could wear them. And then I started really hearing people's stories and realizing how important it was to normalize wig wearing. For me, I just wanted to have fabulous hair, but I know that it can be so much more for people for all walks of life.
It brings so much confidence, obviously, as well. And what really sets your crowns apart from others?
Well, I've been doing this now for 6 years. And like I said, I do have a hairstylist background. So I have a really good grasp on the industry and what's really trending. And I also want to make sure that they're really comfortable and, again, throw on and go for ease.
You know, Chelsea, you're talking, obviously, that's obviously your mission, which I would imagine it starts a community because obviously, as Kelly can attest to, I'm sure, is that everybody has a different reason maybe why they have wear crowns or wigs or such. And tell us a little bit about that community that you've built.
Absolutely. Like I said, with being behind the chair, I would, hear people's stories. And this has really been the same thing where I hear people's stories and they tell me that I've changed their life, but they've also equally changed mine. And I know Kelly's absolutely one of those person. We've, drank wine together, held each other's hands as we heard each other's stories, and she's just so special.
Well, Kelly, would you mind sharing your story?
Oh, absolutely. About 2 years ago, I'm actually celebrating my 2-year surgery, and during that time, I ended up with 4 surgeries from other things, but bariatric surgery as well. And they do warn you that you will lose hair.
Oh, is that right?
Going through bariatric surgery. What they don't warn you about is the amount of hair that you lose. Plus, I had extenuating circumstances and the medications that went along with it.
Okay.
The antibiotics were really part of it. But I was dealing with Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism, menopause, COVID twice, and then I really think the final straw was the antibiotics that after the 4 surgeries and the anesthesia that really did it in, and I had to do something.
Is having the crowns or the wigs, is it just one thing that makes it easier, or is it really changed the way how you feel about yourself? For me,
it was about confidence, but also, too, I've lost 125 pounds, but the confidence that comes along with that, and I am a different person now, just because it has helped me with confidence, but now that I'm a couple years post-op. This has been fun. My hair is growing back. It's still not perfect. I will never have hair like this in real life. And so for me now, it's an easy thing for me to do is to throw it on, go to work, and I look amazing.
I can see why you have a community like that and why you want to do that, because it changed so much. I would imagine it gives a little bit of that extra confidence, as you had said, and a variety of different styles I would imagine you have as well.
Absolutely. So many styles, and we're actually getting together a bunch of wig sisters, and we're going to go put them to the test with humidity of Florida weather and also roller coasters. So stay tuned for that, but I know that they can stand the test of time with us.
Well, thank you both for joining us. Where can folks go if they want to find out more?
Everything is chelseasmithcrowns.com. Same thing across all social media platforms, and we're also giving them a 15% off discount, code Florida, so you can use that.
All right, easy. And matter of fact, we'll put more information on our website as well, dailyflashshow.com. And again, use that code Florida. Just think humidity, think of hair, and you'll remember Florida, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you both for joining us. Appreciate it. And again, you can head to our website, dailyflashshow.com, to find out more information.
KSA Entertainment believes in our communities. We value those who have dedicated their lives to enrich our own. KSA Entertainment is proud to introduce our corporate initiative, KSA Cares. KSA Cares shines a light, gives a voice, and lends a helping hand through compelling awareness initiatives. From supporting veterans to environmental awareness, KSA Entertainment is proud to produce content supporting ways to help communities all across America.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. Check this out. Identical twins Matthew and Michael Yolden can speak 26 different languages.
Whoa!
One of which cannot be found in any history book.
That's crazy.
The twins run their own language learning company in their hometown of Manchester. The first language they ever developed was their own twin speak, and they call it You Marry. The Yoldens can't remember a language before You Marry, which is a bond only identical twins can understand. The phenomena is known as cryptophasia. An estimated 30 to 50% of twins create a unique form of communication between one another. They learned Spanish, Italian, and Scandinavian while on vacation by the time they were 8 years old.
Good for them.
I feel like such a slob.
No kidding. And, they're twins. Obviously, they're around each other all the time. Jackson and I, matter of fact, I think we do that because sometimes we finished each other's
sentences.
Sandwiches. Maybe we'll try some other time. Thousands of men and women have stripped naked for a photo shoot on a bridge in Australia. Can we show it? A New York artist known for his nude photography, all behind the project. He's invited thousands of bare-bottom Aussies, I said Aussies, to stroll through Brisbane before posing on the bridge. The event formed part of the Melt Festival. It's a gallery in Australia will host the artist and showcase his work from several different projects. Nothing really new. I remember we had a producer on an old show. She went and did that.
Yes, she sure did.
But she wouldn't tell us where we could go and look at the picture afterwards. Did you ever find out? You saw some photos? I never saw them.
And there was a documentary that they did on the photos. So
I remember that.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Which, there is some kind. What is it about clothes that we want to take it off and we want to do this, but if we do it with everybody else, we think that people are judging us or whatever. The problem is the people that want to get naked. The whole time I'm like looking at the whole time I'll be like looking like this though. I'll be like, can you go to the one? I'll be like, hi, how are you? That's what I would be like. But they feel like it's freedom. But the problem is the people that want to do this do not need to get naked. You know what I'm saying? And it's never it's never the Andreas of the world we want to see doing this stuff.
It's the same at the nude beaches.
Right. You never want to be sorely disappointed.
You're not seeing Giselle Bundchen or Tom Brady at the nude beaches.
Not at all.
No. Cat owners.
In Hawaii they do.
Hawaii, all right, maybe. Cat owners, listen up. No need to shy away from taking more pictures of your furry friends because it might be good for their health. A Canadian company has developed a new app called Tably. It uses your phone's camera to tell whether a feline is feeling any pain. What? The app looks at the ear and head position, eye shape, and jaw tension. It can also scan your cat's whiskers and look for any signs of distress. Experts say the app could also help new veterinarians learn what patterns to look for when it comes to your pet's health. Obviously, an indicator, it's not a foolproof thing, but it suggests that you may see some symptoms early on that could help with preventative maintenance.
I know that they have cat litters now that when they pee, they can analyze their urine and tell you if they're having, because leukemia, I guess, or whatever is kind of big or whatever. And it can do all this crazy stuff to it. But I got to tell you, a cat, they have great lives, no matter, they just sit around and they do
nothing.
And they look at you when you walk by and when they're laying down, like, so. I've never really experienced that until I had my cats on me. So it's interesting to see that sort of thing. I think that with more and more the AI, I think that this is the first stage of it. I can see this in the future, just pulling it up to the cat to find out what's going to go on. Still, though, I don't 100% sure if it's there as of right now, if you think about it. Andrew Garfield, he's been promoting his new film, We Live in Time. However, one promotional pit stop had Garfield actually talking to Elmo. He's on camera discussing the death of his mother and the complicated forms that his grief has taken. His Elmo exchange let him take a step back from his bereavement and find a moment to share some emotions. It's definitely an unconventional movie promotion, but it also seems to be connecting with fans as it's really popular right now on social media. Now, if we remember Sesame Street, that's where Elmo comes from, they deal with issues head on. And big celebrities always come on and do that sort of thing. So it's interesting to see this, and it's also got to be therapeutic. And if it teaches a kid something, what bad can come out of it.
You just look at Elmo and you're like, oh, he's just so, look at the way he's looking at him. Hey, Elmo. Oh, very sweet.
I would go out and tickle him. That's all I would do.
Of course you would. Jocelyn Wildenstein, better known as Catwoman, stepped out for a rare date night in Paris. The 84-year-old socialite's face appeared a bit different than it has in recent years.
Oh, my God.
Her unique physical transformation started back in the late 70s when she and her ex-husband both got eye lifts. However, the surgery led to Jocelyn getting hooked on changing up her look over and over and over again, and she has since been named the Cat Lady.
Cat Lady. And I remember early on with social media, she was really popular back then because people say this is really her face. And they say a lot of plastic surgeons see repeat customers. They feel like they can constantly do it. And it's a shame sometimes that they let them get to this far. But I would imagine a plastic surgeon would say, well, this is what the person says is going to make them happy, which looking at them like this is not going to change much if you've gotten this much plastic surgery.
And it seems I don't want to liken it to getting a tattoo, but it's almost like once you get one tattoo, you kind of want more. But with plastic surgery, I think with some people, they get one procedure and then they want more. They can't stop. And the plastic surgeon's like, well, if they don't come to me, they'll go to somebody else.
And you wind up in Mexico doing crazy stuff. Body dysmorphia, I'm sure, has a lot to do with it.
That's a crazy addiction.
It is an addiction.
It's expensive, right?
It is expensive, but for the doctors, just to let them keep going, that's another situation in itself.
Like, what conversations are they having?
Where do you draw the line?
A lot of doctors say, all right, I will do this, but I need you to go to a psychiatrist and have that psychiatrist contact me afterwards. But if they did that, they would never have any business at plastic surgery, and they'll let them do whatever.
But it's almost like you fix one thing and then something else doesn't look right.
Body dysmorphia.
And then you're like, okay, I'll fix that part, and then that messes up the other side. It's just crazy.
It just reminds me of BBLs.
BBLs, the Brazilian butt lift.
Oh, the Brazilian butt lift, yeah. Life is about to get a little simple again. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie may no longer be living the simple life, but they're ready to do an encore. The best friends are getting ready for a new 3-part special, Paris and Nicole, The Encore. The show, well, this is not the first video in reference to the first video, if you know what we're talking about. The show will premiere in December. The special picks up 17 years after The Simple Life ended. That was on Fox. It follows Hilton and Richie, who are now 43, married and moms. Duo will actually try to produce an operatic performance based on one of their Simple Life catchphrases.
Okay.
I'll wait, watch, and see.
I guess that's the hook, right?
It's going to grab you for it, at least.
It's hot, the opera?
It's hot.
It's hot. Oh my God, it's so hot.
It's so weird that it's hot. All right, we are definitely going to have some great stuff right around the corner.
Yes.
Must-watch movie?
Love Hurts.
Indeed. We'll have more after this.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. A realtor is pulled back into the life he tried to leave behind after his former partner in crime resurfaces. With his crime lord brother also hot on his trail, he's forced to confront the past he never buried. This is today's must-watch movie, Love Hurts.
We've been looking for you. Marvin Gable. I thought a has-been killer like yourself would be scarier.
Who are you?
We work with your brother. He brought us in to find you. After you let Rose go.
Where's the girl? Where's the money? Tell my brother to back off.
This little 4-foot nothing-ass spider monkey ninja got hopped. Ow, what the?
Rose?
Hey, Marv.
When you stole from my brother, I got you out. Why did you come back?
We're hiding, and hiding ain't living. If we're gonna stop your brother, I'm gonna need the old you, not the realtor.
I told myself that I would never hurt anyone again.
Hey, are you all right?
I'm in the middle of a high-intensity yoga. Can you give me a minute? I'm so sorry.
My brother said he wanted out, but he double-crossed me. Find him.
Now! Swiss cheese, they shit.
Don't worry, I've got guys who can patch all this up like new.
Now let's finish this together.
You want the old me? You got him.
It's about damn time.
Sorry, brother. Love hurts.
Y'all take care. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you when we look at you.